Hi, I'm Rob and welcome to East Coast Sailing. If you're new to the channel, I finally made it to the Channel Islands after sailing 300 nautical miles solo. I spent 4 days on Alderney exploring all of the wonders the island had to offer, including many empty beaches with the purest golden sand. In my haste to take the new tender out for a spin, I left the steering lock bracket on the outboard and I had to be safe from the guys from outside your zone. And after trying spearfishing for the first time, I managed to catch a wrasse. With the addition of a few spider crabs, we managed to cook our catch up on the beach. I had more than my fair share of bad weather on Alderney and many sleepless nights in the anchorage. My cue to leave the island was when my tender washed up on the rocks and I had a call from the harbour master to let me know.
That's Jamie Hearties!
Yes! East Coast Sailing, let's go!
I said goodbye to the friends I'd made and I left Alderney having become one of the islanders. It was time to tackle my next fear, which was the turbulent waters of the Swinge, and let me tell you, it was like being in a wash machine. After arriving at St Peter's Port, I stayed for the night and headed over to Sark the next day. Today's episode covers the journey from Bray Harbour in Alderney, travelling to St Peter's Port, part of Guernsey, and go on to explore Sark. And if that hasn't got you excited, I'm giving a number of these beanies away for free, and all you have to do is subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and I'll announce the winners at the end of September. Shortly after leaving Bray Harbour, I could see a clear line where the turbulent overfalls occurred. Overfalls are produced when fast-moving tides hit the undulating surface of the seabed. If there's a rock or a changing gradient which is fairly steep, the water will move over it and drive up towards the surface, creating steep, unstable waves. I left 1 hour after high water in Alderney, which was slack water. This would reduce my chances of running into dangerous standing waves. The area where overfalls can be expected is 3 nautical miles long and 0.6 nautical miles wide. The forecast predicted a 15-knot wind, which was from a southwesterly direction. We'd have a wind dead on the nose until we got to the west side of Alderney at the next waypoint. Even though the boom looks like it's swinging wildly out of control, do not be tempted to pull the main sheet in too tight. You can easily blow a hole in the mainsail when the boat swings violently left to right and there's no giving the boom. Given the channel's only 0.6 nautical miles wide and I had a head-on wind, I thought the safest course of action was to put the engine on, have a reef in the main just in case the engine ever failed, and head directly into the wind. As soon as I reached the next waypoint, I could bear off to the port hand side and open up the genoa. It was quite a relief after I left the Swinge without any major issues and the water seemed to calm down. Finally, I was able to get both sails out and turn the engine off and enjoy these gentle giants rolling in from the Atlantic. This might sound slightly cliche, but the camera doesn't do the size of these waves any justice. These are the biggest waves that I've sailed in. The full tidal flow had turned and it was working fully in our favour as we were propelled along at 9.1 knots over ground, especially near these rocky formations, which was slightly unnerving. I left Alderney at 5:30 and arrived at St Peter's Port at 9:30. The whole journey took 4 hours to cover 22 nautical miles. You can't seem to find Lucky for me, my boat was situated opposite the 2 Spirit Yachts which was part of a sales expo. These boats are manufactured just down the road from me in Ipswich and they're traditionally built out of wood. After I sold my last boat, I vowed never to get a boat with any woodwork, but I think I could make an exception for these yachts.
Guernsey VTS, this is sailing vessel Ivan. You're approaching the harbour entrance, just requesting permission to leave, over.
Ivan, Guernsey VTS, yes, you up there.
Many thanks, Ivan. You're out.
The 2 islands of Bray and Sark came into view very quickly. The journey from St Peter's Port was only 6.5 nautical miles, so there was no point getting the sails out.
Where we can go and be alone. So come away with me, nobody has to.
These yellow buoys are free to use and they are professionally maintained, but you use them at your own risk. I would advise you not to rely on the ropes on the buoys and put your own mooring lines through the eye. The anchorage is located on the west side of Sark in between Gouliet Passage and Havre Gosselin. There's also a landing pontoon with a dedicated tender park, and I didn't realise this. I scrambled up the cliff and ended up in someone's garden, so don't copy me.
Don't tell your friends, we'll let them know we're safe later on. The road's calling, sun on our skin, sleeping under stars when it's gone. I was just calling to see if you're free to run away with me. To run away with me. To run away with me. To run away with me.
So I've landed on Sark after a quick scramble up a cliff and ended up in someone's garden. I'm finally on the main road and there's no traffic allowed on this island, so it's only horses, bicycles and walking. And I've got a good feeling about this place. I left St Peter's Port because it was just the same old coastal town, full of traffic, lots of noise, and after spending 4 days in Alderney, I just couldn't really hack it. So I've moved on here while the weather's good, and then I explore St Peter's Port when the winds pick up in the next couple of days, and then head back to Alderney. So I'm going to see the Coupee in a minute. I'll get the drone out. Hopefully that'll be able to take off because there's been a ban on drones in Alderney, and we'll be able to explore.
Sark has to be one of the favourite places I visited. It was like stepping back 200 years. I felt like I was in a Robinson Crusoe novel discovering the island for the first time, as I didn't see many people. It was time for me to leave the island and make the long voyage home to reunite with my family at the Isle of Wight. Even with very little wind, you can see there's quite a big swell within the anchorage, so just pick your days wisely coming to Sark. Thanks for watching East Coast Sailing, and if you've enjoyed today's episode, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to get the latest episodes. Come and join me next week for a wild English Channel crossing where wind speeds hit 28 knots and I'm finally reunited with the family.